What if you were never lazy, never unlucky, never untalented? What if you were simply undecided? What if every morning you woke up and started moving, but never in one direction? What if your entire life has been a car with a full tank of fuel, a powerful engine, four perfect tires, but no destination entered into the GPS? You have been driving, you have been working, you have been trying, but trying in every direction at once is the same as standing completely still. Right now, at this very moment, there are people with less education than you, less money than you, less opportunity than you, and they are winning. Not because they are smarter, not because life treated them better, but because one day they sat down, they looked themselves in the mirror, and they made one decision. A definite, burning, unshakable decision about exactly what they wanted, and from that single moment, everything changed. So before this speech ends, I want you to make that decision, because the life you want is not waiting for more time, more money, or more courage. It is waiting for one thing, your purpose. Let's begin. What if the greatest tragedy of your life is not something that happened to you, but something that never happened at all? What if the real failure is not the business that collapsed, not the relationship that broke, not the opportunity you missed, but the life you never fully decided to live? What if you have been walking this earth for years, even decades, carrying enormous potential inside you like a loaded weapon, but you never once pulled the trigger because you were never sure what you were aiming at? That question should shake you. That question should wake you. Because if you are honest with yourself, truly, deeply honest, you will admit that most of your life has been lived without a definite, written, burning, unbreakable purpose. And that single missing ingredient is the reason why so many brilliant people die ordinary. Let me tell you something that will permanently change the way you see yourself and the world around you. There is a law, not a suggestion, not a philosophy, not a motivational quote, a law that governs human achievement. And that law states this: every person who has ever achieved anything extraordinary in the history of human civilization began with one thing, and one thing only. Not money, not connections, not education, not luck. They began with a definiteness of purpose so powerful, so consuming, so overwhelming, that it left absolutely no room inside their mind for doubt, for distraction, or for defeat. This is not poetry. This is the documented pattern of every great human life ever lived. And the terrifying question you must answer today is this: do you have that? Do you have a purpose so clear, so specific, so deeply felt that it wakes you up before your alarm goes off? Do you have a destination so real in your mind that you can smell it, touch it, feel it before it even exists? If the answer is no, then what you have been calling your life is actually something far more painful. What you have been living is called drifting. Drifting is the most dangerous condition a human being can exist in, and the most common. It is dangerous precisely because it does not feel dangerous. Drifting feels like patience. It feels like flexibility. It feels like keeping your options open, being realistic, not putting all your eggs in one basket. But let me tell you what drifting actually is, stripped of all its comfortable disguises. Drifting is slow death. Drifting is waking up on Monday and letting Monday decide what you become. Drifting is waiting for inspiration before you act, waiting for permission before you move, waiting for the perfect moment that never ever comes. Drifting is living your entire life on other people's schedules, other people's agendas, other people's definitions of success, and then one day, standing at the edge of your final years, looking backward at a life that was lived for everyone except the one person who deserved it most: you. The drifter does not fail dramatically. There is no single catastrophic moment of collapse. The drifter simply fades. Day by day, choice by choice, compromise by compromise, the drifter trades their potential for comfort, their vision for routine, their destiny for the illusion of safety. And the world never notices. Because the world is full of drifters. Drifting has become so normal that it has been renamed being responsible. But you were not born to be responsible for a life you never chose. You were born to be responsible for a purpose that sets your soul on fire. Now let us talk about what happens when a human being, any human being, regardless of their background, their education, their financial condition, their past failures, their current circumstances, makes one single definite committed decision about what they want from life. Something extraordinary begins to happen. And I do not use the word extraordinary loosely. When you plant a definiteness of purpose deep into your mind with enough emotional intensity, with enough repetition, with enough burning desire, your entire mental and physical architecture begins to reorganize itself around that purpose. Your brain, which is the most sophisticated instrument ever created, suddenly has a target. And a brain with a target is one of the most unstoppable forces in the natural world. You begin to notice opportunities that were always there but invisible to you before. You begin to attract people, resources, and circumstances that align with your direction. You begin to make decisions faster and better because every decision now has a filter. Does this bring me closer to my purpose, or does it take me further away? Your energy increases because energy follows direction. Your confidence increases because confidence follows clarity, and your results, slowly, then suddenly, then dramatically, begin to transform in ways that will shock everyone around you, including yourself. Understand this deeply. Purpose is not a goal. Do not make the mistake of confusing the two. A goal is something you want to achieve. A purpose is something you cannot help but become. A goal lives on a piece of paper. A purpose lives in your bloodstream. A goal can be abandoned when things get difficult. A purpose cannot be abandoned because abandoning it feels like abandoning yourself. The person who is driven by a definite purpose does not need motivation. They need no external voice telling them to wake up, to try harder, to keep going. The purpose itself is the fuel. The purpose itself is the alarm clock. The purpose itself is the voice that speaks louder than fear, louder than doubt, louder than the opinions of every person who told you to be realistic. History is not made by realistic people. History is made by purposeful people who were told they were being unrealistic and decided that the opinions of the comfortable would not determine the destiny of the committed. Think for one moment about the greatest stories of human transformation you have ever heard. The person who escaped poverty and built an empire. The individual who overcame a debilitating illness and then went on to inspire millions. The entrepreneur who failed 7 times and on the 8th attempt changed an entire industry. The artist who was rejected by everyone and then became immortal. What do all of these stories have in common? Not talent, not timing, not luck. Every single one of these stories has one chapter that never gets enough attention. The chapter where that person sat down, alone, possibly afraid, possibly broke, possibly broken, and made a decision. A decision so firm, so final, so absolute, that the entire trajectory of their life bent in a new direction from that single moment forward. That decision had a name. It was called Definiteness of Purpose. And it is available to you right now, today, in this very moment, regardless of where you are, what you have done, what has been done to you, or how many times you have tried and failed before. Because here is what the world will never tell you. Failure is not the opposite of success. Drifting is the opposite of success. You can fail 1,000 times and still succeed, as long as each failure is moving you in a definite direction. But you can also succeed by every outward measurement, money, status, recognition, and still be drifting, because none of it was chosen, none of it was purposed, none of it was yours. Real success, the kind that fills a human life with meaning and satisfaction and joy that cannot be taken away, that kind of success has only one foundation, and that foundation is knowing with absolute certainty what you want, why you want it, and that you will accept nothing less. So let me ask you the question that could change everything for you, and I need you to take this seriously. I need you to sit with it. I need you to let it burn inside you the way it deserves to burn. What do you want? Not what your parents wanted for you, not what your society has defined as acceptable, not what seems possible given your current circumstances. What do you want if nothing were impossible, if failure were not an option, if everyone who ever doubted you suddenly became your greatest supporter? What is the one thing you would dedicate your life to? What is the purpose so large, so meaningful, so uniquely yours that even thinking about it right now causes something to stir in your chest? That stirring is not a coincidence. That stirring is not emotion. That stirring is recognition. Your deepest self recognizing its own purpose, reaching toward you through years of noise and distraction and doubt, finally getting your attention, finally asking you to listen. Listen to it. Write it down. State it in clear, specific, measurable terms. Not, I want to be successful, but exactly what success means to you, exactly what you will do, exactly what you will create, exactly what you will become. Give it a deadline. Give it a plan. And then, this is the part that separates the purposeful from the wishful. Act on it. Today. Not next Monday. Not when the kids are older. Not when the economy improves. Not when you feel more ready. Today. Because the person you are waiting to become is being built by the actions you take while you are still afraid, still uncertain, still imperfect. Purpose does not wait for perfection. Purpose is built through motion. Every single morning that passes without a definite purpose is a morning that the universe hands you an incredible gift. 24 hours of life, of potential, of possibility, and you return it unopened. How many mornings have already passed? How many gifts have already been returned? That is not a question meant to shame you. It is a question meant to awaken you to the urgency of right now. Because right now is the only moment you will ever actually possess. The past is fixed. The future is unwritten. But right now, this breath, this heartbeat, this moment belongs entirely to you. And in this moment, you have the power to make the one decision that ends a lifetime of drifting. The decision to know what you want, to commit to it completely, and to pursue it with every resource available to you until it becomes your reality. The world does not need more talented people. The world does not need more intelligent people. The world does not need more people with good intentions and beautiful dreams. The world needs more purposeful people, people who have decided, people who have committed, people who wake up every single day knowing exactly where they are going and why. Those people change families. Those people change communities. Those people change industries. Those people change history. And they started exactly where you are standing right now, exactly here. Exactly this moment, with nothing more than a decision. Everything we have journeyed through today comes down to one profound and permanent truth. The single greatest power any human being possesses is the power to decide. Not the power to be talented, not the power to be lucky, not the power to be born into the right circumstances, but the power to look at your life, to look at your potential, to look at the blank canvas of your remaining years, and to decide, with finality, with clarity, with burning, unshakable commitment, what masterpiece you will paint on it. Definiteness of purpose is not a technique. It is not a strategy. It is the foundation upon which every meaningful human life is built. Without it, even the most gifted person drifts through decades of beautiful potential that never becomes reality. With it, even the most ordinary person can achieve extraordinary results that outlast their lifetime. The drifting ends the moment the deciding begins. And the deciding is entirely, completely, and permanently in your hands. The only question left, the question only you can answer, is this: will today be the day you decide?